When Kobe Bryant died, LeBron James looked at his phone and tears filled his eyes. On the screen was Kobe's final message. LeBron, there's something I need to tell you. What was written in the rest of that message contained the secret that would make LeBron the greatest legend in NBA history. But before we dive into this incredible story, let me ask you something. Have you ever received a message that completely changed your life? Have you ever discovered that someone you thought was your rival was actually your greatest supporter all along? This story is about exactly that. But it's also about something much deeper. It's about legacy, mentorship, and how the greatest champions are forged not in competition, but in the passing of wisdom from one generation to the next. For 20 years, the basketball world believed in the greatest rivalry in NBA history, Kobe versus LeBron. The media fed this narrative relentlessly. Every comparison, every debate, every who's better argument seemed to pit these two titans against each other. On the surface, it made perfect sense. Kobe, the ruthless perfectionist from Los Angeles. LeBron, the chosen one from Akron. Different generations, different styles, different approaches to greatness. The media painted them as oil and water, fire and ice, two forces that could never coexist. But what if I told you that everything you thought you knew about their relationship was wrong? What if the greatest rivalry in basketball history was actually the greatest mentorship story never told? Let's go back to 2003, when an 18-year-old LeBron James entered the NBA. The pressure was crushing. He was called the Chosen One before he'd played a single professional game. The weight of expectations would have broken most teenagers. Kobe was watching. Not as a rival, but as someone who understood that pressure better than anyone. He had entered the league straight from high school 7 years earlier. He knew what that kind of scrutiny felt like. What the public didn't know was that Kobe had already started studying LeBron before he was even drafted. Not to find weaknesses to exploit, but to understand how to help guide this incredible talent. I saw myself in him, Kobe would later confess in that final message. Not the arrogance or the skill. I saw the weight he was carrying. And I knew that weight would either make him or break him. After LeBron's first playoff loss in 2006, something happened that wouldn't be revealed until years later. Young LeBron was devastated. He felt like he had let down an entire city, an entire generation of fans who believed in him. That night, LeBron received a text from an unknown number. It simply read, "Pressure makes diamonds or dust. You choose which one you become. Someone who knows." LeBron stared at that message for hours. Who could have sent it? How did they get his private number? But more importantly, how did they know exactly what he needed to hear? It wasn't until 2020, 14 years later, that LeBron discovered the sender. It was Kobe. It had always been Kobe. The 2008 Olympics in Beijing marked a turning point that the world witnessed, but didn't truly understand. For the first time, Kobe and LeBron were teammates, not rivals. They were both wearing USA across their chests, working toward the same goal. During a late-night practice session when the cameras weren't rolling, something extraordinary happened. LeBron was struggling with his jump shot, the one weakness critics always pointed to. Frustration was building as shot after shot clanged off the rim. Suddenly, Kobe appeared beside him. Without a word, he started demonstrating subtle adjustments. The angle of the wrist, the follow-through, the mental approach to each shot. For 2 hours, in complete silence, the supposed rivals worked together. That night changed everything for me, LeBron would later reveal. Kobe didn't have to help me. We were supposed to be enemies. But he spent 2 hours making me better. And he never asked for anything in return. What LeBron didn't know was that this wasn't spontaneous kindness. Kobe had been planning this moment for months. He had studied LeBron's shooting mechanics, identified the exact adjustments needed, and waited for the perfect opportunity to help without making it public. "I couldn't let the next generation fail because of pride," Kobe explained in his final message. "Your success was more important than any rivalry the media wanted to create. 2010 was supposed to be the year that defined their rivalry forever. Lakers versus Cavaliers in what everyone expected would be an epic finals matchup. Instead, LeBron's Cavaliers were eliminated, and the criticism was brutal. The media destroyed LeBron. Fans burned his jersey. He was called a choker, a player who couldn't win when it mattered most. The weight of that failure nearly broke him. But on the night of his elimination, LeBron received another message. Champions aren't made in the light. They're forged in the darkness of their lowest moments. This isn't your ending. It's your beginning." This time, LeBron knew it was Kobe. And this time, he responded, "Why are you helping me? We're supposed to be rivals." Kobe's response would haunt LeBron for years. Because greatness recognizes greatness. And because someone once did the same for me. When LeBron made the decision to join Miami, the basketball world exploded. He was vilified, criticized, called a traitor. The hate was overwhelming, suffocating. During the lowest point of that first season in Miami, when the Heat were struggling and LeBron was being blamed for everything, his phone buzzed at 3 a.m. It was a long message from Kobe. "They said the same things about me when I demanded a trade. They said I was selfish, that I couldn't win alone. But champions don't listen to the noise. They listen to their purpose. Your purpose isn't to make people happy. It's to be great. And greatness requires sacrifice that others will never understand." That message arrived the night before LeBron's best game of the season. Coincidence? LeBron would later learn it was carefully timed. As the years went on, LeBron started noticing a pattern. Before every crucial game, every important moment, every time he needed guidance most, a message would arrive. Not always from Kobe directly. Sometimes from unknown numbers, sometimes through mutual friends, sometimes in the most unexpected ways. After losing to the Spurs in 2014, every champion has a series that teaches them how to be great. This was yours. Before Game 6 against Boston in 2012, legends aren't born in easy moments. They're born when everything is falling apart and they choose to rise anyway. After winning his first championship in 2012, now you understand. The weight doesn't get lighter. You just get stronger. Each message was perfectly timed, precisely worded, exactly what LeBron needed to hear. It was as if Kobe was watching every game, studying every emotion, providing guidance like a guardian angel. When LeBron decided to return to Cleveland in 2014, the pressure was immense. He had promised to bring a championship to a city that hadn't won anything in 50 years. The weight of that promise was crushing. The night before his announcement, his phone rang. For the first time in years, it wasn't a text. It was a call. Kobe's voice was on the other end. "You're going home," Kobe said. It wasn't a question. "How did you know?" LeBron asked. Because it's what a true champion would do. Going back to Miami would be easy. Going home to face that pressure. To risk everything for a city that's been hurt before. That's what legends do. They talked for 2 hours that night. About pressure. About legacy. About what it really means to be great. For the first time, LeBron understood that Kobe hadn't just been sending random encouragement. He had been methodically preparing LeBron for this exact moment. Every message, every piece of advice I gave you was building toward this, Kobe revealed. I was teaching you how to carry the weight of a city because I knew someday you'd have to. The 2016 finals against Golden State were the ultimate test. Down 3-1, facing the greatest regular season team in NBA history, with the weight of Cleveland's 52-year championship drought on his shoulders. Most people had already written the obituary for LeBron's championship hopes. But before Game 5, a message arrived that was different from all the others. The universe doesn't give you dreams it doesn't think you can achieve, but it also doesn't make them easy. Tonight, stop trying to be perfect. Start trying to be legendary. LeBron led one of the greatest comebacks in sports history. When he finally brought Cleveland its first championship, collapsing to the floor in tears, his phone was already buzzing. Kobe's message was simple. I knew you could do it. I always knew. When LeBron joined the Lakers in 2018, everyone expected awkwardness. How would Kobe react to another superstar wearing purple and gold? Would the city accept LeBron in Kobe's house? Instead, something beautiful happened. For the first time, Kobe publicly embraced LeBron, not just as a player, but as a worthy successor to the Lakers' legacy. This isn't my house anymore, Kobe said at a press conference. This is his house now, and I couldn't be prouder to pass it to him. Behind the scenes, their relationship deepened even further. Kobe would show up to practices unannounced, not to interfere, but to watch LeBron work. He'd sit in the stands like a proud father watching his son. You're not just carrying your own legacy now, Kobe told LeBron during one of these visits. You're carrying all of ours. Magic, Kareem, Shaq, me. We're all living through your greatness now. January 2020. LeBron had just passed Kobe on the all-time scoring list. The torch-passing moment was emotional, but what happened afterward was even more meaningful. That night, Kobe sent what would be his longest message ever. Pages and pages of thoughts, memories, and wisdom. But one paragraph stood out above all others. LeBron, there's something I need to tell you that I've never told anyone. Every time I pushed you, every time I challenged you publicly, every time the media tried to create a rivalry between us, I was actually preparing you. I was making you stronger, tougher, more resilient. Because I knew that someday, you would be the one carrying the torch for all of us. 3 days before his death, Kobe sent his final message to LeBron. It was different from all the others. Longer, more personal. Almost like he knew it would be his last. LeBron, if something ever happens to me, I need you to know something. You were never my rival. You were my student, my protege, my chosen successor. Every great champion needs someone to pass their knowledge to. And I chose you from the moment you entered this league. The message continued. I've spent 17 years preparing you for this moment, not just to be great, but to be the leader that this game needs. To inspire the next generation the way I tried to inspire you. But here's what I need you to understand. Everything I taught you, every piece of advice I gave you, every moment I pushed you to be better, that was just the beginning. Now you have to take everything you learned and teach it to someone else. Find your LeBron, the way I found mine in you. The final part of the message was the most heartbreaking. Promise me something, LeBron. Promise me that when your time comes to pass the torch, you'll do it with the same love and dedication that I tried to give you. Don't let the chain break. Keep building legends. LeBron read that message 3 times before responding. I promise, Mamba. Always. He had no idea it would be their last conversation. January 26, 2020. LeBron was on the team plane coming back from Philadelphia when his phone started buzzing with notifications. At first, he ignored them. Then someone on the plane gasped. Kobe, someone whispered. LeBron's blood went cold. He grabbed his phone and saw the reports. Helicopter crash. Kobe and Gianna were gone. For the first time since receiving Kobe's messages, LeBron had no words. The man who had guided him for 17 years, who had been his invisible mentor, his secret teacher, his guardian angel, was gone. LeBron pulled out his phone and reread that final message. Find your LeBron, the way I found mine in you. And in that moment, through his tears, LeBron understood his true purpose. It wasn't just to be great. It was to create greatness in others. At Kobe's memorial service, LeBron spoke to the world. But there was one line that only he understood the true meaning of. I promise to continue your legacy. Not just on the court, but in the way you taught me to lift others up. What the world didn't know was that LeBron was already keeping that promise. He had started mentoring young players the way Kobe had mentored him, quietly, behind the scenes, with carefully timed advice and unwavering support. Ja Morant received a message after a tough loss. Champions aren't made in easy moments. Zion Williamson got advice before a crucial game. Pressure makes diamonds or dust. You choose. Jason Tatum found guidance when he needed it most. Greatness recognizes greatness. The same words, the same timing, the same invisible support that Kobe had given LeBron for nearly 2 decades. Today, when LeBron looks at his phone, he still sees those messages from Kobe. He's never deleted a single one. They serve as reminders not just of what he learned, but of what he must teach. Kobe didn't just make me a better player, LeBron said in a recent interview. He made me a better teacher. And that might be his greatest gift of all. The rivalry that never was has become the mentorship that will never end. Every time LeBron guides a young player, every time he offers advice to the next generation, every time he chooses to build someone up instead of tear them down, Kobe's final message lives on. So let me ask you this: who is your Kobe? Who is the person in your life offering guidance, support, and wisdom? Maybe even in ways you don't fully recognize yet? And more importantly, who is your LeBron? Who is the person you could be mentoring, supporting, and lifting up right now? This story isn't just about basketball. It's about the invisible chains of mentorship that connect all greatness. It's about recognizing that our greatest rivals might actually be our greatest teachers. If this story moved you, if it made you think about the mentors in your own life, hit that like button. And if you've ever been inspired by someone who believed in you before you believed in yourself, share that story in the comments below. Subscribe for more incredible stories where legendary wisdom gets passed from one generation to the next, and where the greatest competitions are actually the greatest collaborations. Remember, greatness isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you lift up along the way. Until next time, keep the chain unbroken. Be someone's Kobe, and be grateful for the mentors who believed in you before you believed in yourself. Mamba forever. Snake crown.